Hello viewers, welcome back to English Academy. Now in this video let's talk about John Milton. John Milton born in 1608, died in 1674. He was born in Bread Street, Cheapside, went to St. Paul's School and Christ College, Cambridge. He was called Lady of Christ because of his long hair and delicate manners in his college days. So it is a nickname. He was a polyglot, wrote in Latin and English, questioned some aspect of Protestantism. Milton translated religious Latin poems in the beginning of his writing career. Early poems of Milton's: Ode on the Death of Fair Infant Dying of a Cough, Milton's earliest poem. Ode on the Death of a Fair Infant Dying of a Cough. Then on Shakespeare, he contributed a poem in the a second folio of Shakespeare, Nativity Ode or Ode on a Morning of Christ Nativity Ode, first Miltonic work. Then La Algaro and Pensaro, two companion poems. La Algaro means happy man. It's about one cheerful day in the countryside. He invoked that Ephirosin, goddesses of mirth, and La Pensaro means the melancholic man. It is about the melancholic day in the countryside. It invokes goddesses melancholy veiled in black. He uses pastoral conviction in these poems. Then Houghton poems. Upon leaving college, he moved briefly in his parents' house in Hammersmith. Later spent 6 years in Houghton, where he wrote major poems. These poems are called Houghton poems, Arcadia's Camus Lycidas. Then two Mosques of Arcadia and Camus. That Arcades is dedicated to Alice Spencer, Countess, Dowager of Derby. Camus returned to perform at the Ludlet Castle on the Michaelmas night. A lady and her two brothers are walking through the forest. When her brother goes in search of food, God Camus approaches her in disguise and tries to seduce her. The lady exercises recto ratio on freedom of mind. She resists temptation, and theme is a temptation. Then the Lycidas. It is a pastoral elegy written in the memory of Edward King I, who was drowned in the Irish Sea. In a classical style, Milton addresses Laurel and Myrtle and invokes the Muses. He remembers their college days spent together. The guardian angels failed to protect him from death. Even Calliope the muse of epic poetry failed to save her son Orpheus. So the Phoebus Apollo replies, Fame is no plant that grows on moral soil. The poet understands the inevitability of this tragedy. Nothing can bring back Lycidas. So it is a morning elegy written for the Edward King I by the Milton, that is Lycidas. The poet covers his body with the flowers. Milton is thinking of the future, tomorrow's fresh woods and pasture new. Last line of the poem. Lycidas is no more, yet he is immortal. The poem is often compared to another pastoral elegy by Milton, that Epithalamium Domains, which may return in remembrance of Diodati. Then Milton's prose work. Milton left England for a foreign tour and met many eminent personalities like Galileo. When he returned, the Civil War was raging in England. He supported the Puritans or Republican and became the official spokesperson of the Puritans. He turned to prose work, which is powerful political statement, wrote anti-paralytical tract and anti-Moran that Moran chicken. Last of his Latin poem, Elegia Prima, was written in this period. Last Latin poem, Elegia Prima. Then Icon coalesced against the Charles First autobiography, Icon Basilic. The Doctrine and Discipline of Divorce, series of 4 pamphlets on divorce. After 16 years old wife Mary Powell returned to her parents, he was advocating divorce. So divorce को वो क्लैरिफाई करते हैं. उन्होंने द डॉक्ट्रिन एंड डिसिप्लिन ऑफ डिवोर्स लिखा है जब उनकी वाइफ 16 ईयर्स की शादी को छोड़ के उनके पेरेंट्स मैरी पॉवल के बारे में. ओके. एरियोपेजिटिका pamphlet in the form of speech. Areopagitica, it is a pamphlet in the form of speech written against the licensing order of 1643, modeled on Isocrates, Athenian orator, advocating the freedom of press, refers to the Areopagite, the hill on which real and legendary tribulations took place. There is a life in every book. To kill a book is to kill God. Then, of education, it is a pamphlet addressed to the educational reformer Samuel Hartlib. Milton emerges as the champion of Christian humanism, depicts the classical values. He taught an ideal classical curriculum, lays the foundation of Christian humanities. Then the Milton's greatest work. His greatest poems are published after the Restoration. First is that Paradise Lost 1667, Paradise Regained 1671. आपको ये डेट और सीक्वेंस याद रखना है. Samson Agonist in 1671. So first let's talk about the Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost published in 10 books in 1667. 1667 को 10 बुक पब्लिश हुए. वो रिवाइज फॉर्म में 12 बुक के साथ 1674 में पब्लिश हुआ. ओनली लिटरेरी epic written in English, written in blank verse, has classical echoes and appeared with the explanatory notes. Aim to justify the way of God to men, subject the fall of man. Then the plan of Paradise Lost. बुक फर्स्ट जो है सैटर्न एंड हिज फॉलोअर बिल्डिंग द पेंडोनियम. दूसरा बुक जो है सैटर्न ओपन द डिबेट इन पेंडोमिनियम. तीसरा बुक जो है गॉड फोर्सेस द इमिनेंट डेंजर दैट सैटर्न बाय मैन बाय सैटर्न. देन चौथा जो बुक है सैटर्न एंटर द गार्डन ऑफ एडन. पांचवें बुक में राफेल द गार्डियन एंजल वॉर्न मैन टू द डेंजर बाय सैटर्न. सिक्स बुक है वार्निंग इज अगेन गिवन टू द एडम एंड यू अगेंस्ट द अटेम्प्ट ऑफ सैटर्न टू सेड्यूस मैन. जो सातवां बुक है द क्रिएशन ऑफ एडम एंड यू. आठवें बुक में बताया एडम इज आस्किंग क्वेश्चन टू राफेल which he answer as a pursues. Raphael gives one more warning and leaves. Ninth book, The Fall of Man. Eve is approached by the Satan disguised as the serpent. He uses reason and tempts Eve to eat the forbidden fruit. She tempts Adam and he eats the fruit out of love for Eve. और 10वां जो बुक है Son of God come down and pronounces punishment on a man. 11th book, The Son interrogates the Father on behalf of man. 12th book, Michael leads Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden and tell about the future coming of Christ. Adam is amazed and says, "Flix culpa, a fortunate mistake." Michelle talks about, or pronounced as Michael talks about glorious cities like Agra and Lahore. So ये भी सवाल बन सकता है कि कौन से बुक में आगरा एंड लाहौर जैसे सिटीज़ का जिक्र है, तो 12th बुक. और कौन से बुक में उन्हें पनिश द फॉल ऑफ मैन है, तो बुक है 9th. ओके. देन पैराडाइज रीगेन दैट एपिलियन अ लिटिल epic in 4 books published along with the Samson agonist. Protagonist is son of God or a Christ. Christ coming in the form of man, resisting the temptation. Satan is offering food, pleasure, public life with the power. Christ faces temptation as a heroic man. He rejects the offer of Satan. Emphasis on Christian values. Then Samson agonist, tragic closet drama, model and Greek tragedy. Agonist means the champion of the Israel who is imprisoned in the heathen temple by the Philistines. Delia is lover, want him to be alive. She hopes that Philistine will simply cut off Samson's hair and remove his great strength. As the hair grows back, the regain power. He has been blinded and the story is told in dialogue by Samson, crushing all the enemies and himself. He verges on despair and forbid Delia from the cutting his hair as it grows written. The death of Samson agonist happens off stage and a messenger reports at the end of the play. मतलब उसकी डेथ जो है दिखाई नहीं जाती है, खाली एक मैसेंजर आता है और बोलते हैं कि उसकी डेथ हो गई. द प्ले एंड विद द पीसफुल नोट. क्लोजिंग लाइन जो है उसकी सैमसन एगोनिस्ट की वो है एंड काम ऑफ माइंड ऑल पैशन स्पेंट. देन मिल्टन के सॉनेट्स आते हैं 23 sonnets that are philosophical in nature. Sonnet number 18 on the late massacre in Piedmont, Charles Emmanuel II, Duke of the Sauve massacred. Then sonnet 19 on his blindness, open with when I consider how my light is spent. Then Milton's grand style, a classical style that uses the Latinate structure. Numerous allusion, philosophical sublime. So this is how the Dryden described Milton as the poet of the sublime. ड्राइडन जो है मिल्टन को पोएट ऑफ सबलाइम कहते हैं. द टर्म ग्रैंड स्टाइल वॉज फर्स्ट यूज बाय मैथ्यू अर्नोल्ड and the latter Christopher Ricks wrote a famous book Milton's Grand Style in 1967. Thank you.